Oh, welcome. Good evening. Happy Sunday. This is the Four Valley Boys podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Fabian Vicks, and I got Big Straw Anderson with me today. Shot will be on in a moment. Anybody else that's going to jump on, they'll jump on. And on today's episode, we're going to go in depth to Shot's parting shot he gave about affirmative action. We're also going to talk about first half of baseball season. We don't talk a lot about baseball on here because it's baseball. That's all you need to know. Also, we're going to a question I saw earlier today, and I listened to a podcast. Is Dame Lillard the greatest trailblazer in history? That's a good question. I'm
It
gonna,
is. It is.
I'm gonna get my answer in a minute because that's to me it's common sense. And I'm gonna give it to you.
To me, it is too. But I mean, we probably gonna say the same thing. But the person you're thinking of
Not,
is probably. I mean, they got similar stats, but I don't. I still don't say it.
nah, he's not the greatest blazer ever. But Straw, tell him what to do.
Let's hit that music fade.
Hey, yeah, hey, yeah, boys, yeah. Hold on, we them boys. Hold on, we them boys.
And of course, this is the Four Valley Boys podcast, and have a plethora of sponsors with us.
Yes, yes, yes.
Of course, you can see us on Sundays and Wednesdays. Just a programming note: we will not be on next Sunday, so you'll get a break from us on a Sunday. We still up in the debate about this Wednesday, but the ESPYs will be on, so it might not be on Wednesday. We'll let you know by Tuesday we're gonna be on.
You
But
still watch the ESPYs?
I turn in and out depending on who the host is. The wars are rigged anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, they already know who they already know before. They already know who they got.
Yeah, so we'll see. This is your sponsor. Talk about your sponsor right here.
Look, man, if you want straws, now you want straws for drink, straws for milk, straws for soda. If you want a different experience, get crazy straws. Cause they crazy. They crazy. I got all colors. We got all colors. We got magenta, blue, red, pink, whatever you need. Hey, purple. If you're looking for a straw on that game day just to have the team color of your straw, get crazy straws.
You heard it here, folks. Get your crazy straw here. Get your crazy straw. Just for men. You got to grain your beard like myself or Damon, and you try to get it out, give it a little fresh look to yourself. Get your that CB4 from Walgreens or CVS, even Walmart, Family Dollar. I want to get it from Family Dollar, Dollar General. It might have a little bit of that orange color from the Cheetos.
You got to shake it up good. You got to shake it up real good.
Just like the offering, you got the little cup and that little wafer. You got like I do. You got to shake around the juices and stuff. Just shake it around, get a little flavor in there. Dax Wave and Groom. Want some waves in your head too while you getting the gray out? Just Dax Wave and Groom. Get it from any store. It's about $4 or $5. $3 at the Beauty Supply place because they got about 50 11 in the back, so they got plenty of them. So try to get rid of them. Mike still has waves in his head. He's he's bald headed, and I don't know how. That's a special. That's a special gift that he has. I just don't get it. Don't get it. Of course, you can follow us on YouTube and the Facebook. BuyANiceShirt.com. Get all your HBCU paraphernalia, or if you are a member Panhandling at 9, you know who you are. Get your stuff at BuyANiceShirt.com. Bernard Ingram is the owner of that business. Oh, can't forget about this sponsor, Arizona Tea. We were brought to you by Arizona Tea. When I was in my undisclosed location, it is 89 cents. 89 cents. I tell you not, now lie. 89 cents per can. Cheaper in another state than it is in Georgia. You get diabetes 10% faster than what you get in Georgia. You get into Georgia pretty fast. Detroit, I don't know. I had to ask Damon that on Wednesday. But if you want diabetes real quick, get you some Arizona tea. If you want to cut the diabetes down, go ahead and put some water in it, just like you do apple juice.
Also, you can catch it at the Dollar Tree, the big bottles for $1.25. $1.25.
There you go. So you just want all out diabetes, just go ahead and get you some. Go ahead and get a little bit of diabetes. Like Wilford Brimley. Wilford Brimley. But I got diabetes.
I got diabetes.
Of course, we got Damon's podcast. Let me pull that back up and scroll down a little too fast. Damon's podcast, chopping it up, a virtual barbershop experience. We try to get Damon to do a live stream from the barbershop, but not at Waters Bar because they wouldn't have no hair if he let Atwater cut his hair.
He might have waves like from Dax Waving Groom, but he ain't finna have no hair.
We'll have it hair. And of course, our favorite sponsors, Henny and Coke, Crown Royal, Ginger Ale, the Dark Liquors.
The Dark Liquors.
Be on the lookout for more information about the Fort Valley Boys coming to homecoming this year.
Yeah, and might have a special guest. I'm working it out, y'all. Working it out.
Oh, there you go. We need to definitely need to hook that up. I'm waiting for some finalization from Michael. He's taking that part over for me, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, something can shake out from it. Man, how's your week, man?
Man, it was good. My week was good. Relaxing. We were working on a short week this week with the holiday and everything this past week, but everything is good. Everything is good. It's like soul to soul. Keep on moving.
Gotta let that soul glow. Just let it shine through. All right. While we're waiting for Shot to come on, I want to start with a sport we don't talk about on here a lot. Talk about some baseball. I'm gonna put the working on it now because my computer free, so I can do the rundown on here. Baseball first half. What's your takeaway for baseball first half?
Them Braves on fire. Even though they got beat today, they are on fire. Let me see. I had pulled up their record before we came on to do a little bit of Braves 60-29. 60-29. So they rocking and rolling. Looks like they trying to get back to where they were a couple of seasons ago, trying to get another World Series title. In the AL, you got the Cleveland. You can call them Guardians. I won't call them Indians. Mama say Indians. I'm gonna say Indians. They doing good in the Central. Them Tampa Bay Rays, who beat the Braves today, 58-35, doing well. I don't watch a lot of baseball, Faye, but these are teams that like as far as the Braves, they've been there before. The Rangers doing well, 52-39. It's a good season. Good season. Dodgers doing what they do, 51-38. So, when we get closer, it's summertime now, and they're gonna come to the break here in a little while. But once that break is over and the boys of October start to come on around, we'll see what they do. Braves are smoking at a good enough pace to where it looked like they could take a few games off, which is probably what they did today, and still be able to get a good seed in the playoffs. Can't relax all the way, but you can get that bye in the first round of playoffs.
Anatole said in our pre-production chat, I don't want to talk about the Cobb County Braves. Okay, because one day in Cobb County, I can't go to a game because they're in Cobb County. Let me get Shot in here right quick. The Cobb County Braves, but they're in Cobb County. Think about it. If I want to go to a Brave game, I could jump on MARTA, get off at 5 Point, take 5 Point or get on 166 to 75 North, get off Ted Turner Parkway, pay parking $5, walk to the stadium right there. Good to go. Cobb County, they don't want us down. I'm gonna say what it is. They don't want us at their game. The MARTA don't run the Cobb County. They post that they never lived in Atlanta, only been there to visit. Cobb County does not have MARTA, so guess who ain't going to the game for the most part?
What the old big boss man, what his theme song used to say, if you ever venture down in Cobb County, Georgia, you're gonna do some hard time. It's gonna be some hard time.
We got shot on here. Going on, shot. Get his audio straight.
What's going on, fellas? You still in Kissimmee?
No, I'm back at the house. My computer's freezing up. I'm gonna switch to my laptop.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know, is that my reception or yours?
I don't know. No, I don't know. Might be both, but we just talk about these Braves. I know we don't talk a lot of baseball.
What's going on, Big Straw?
What's happening, Shot?
Okay.
That must be him.
Yeah, I got it. I'm guessing me, but that's why I'm trying to switch to a different device while we're going on. So I know we don't talk a lot of baseball on here. We don't watch a lot of it. Just like we talk a little bit of hockey. But what have you seen? Where have you seen from this year? What's your thought on the season so far? Okay, he must have went out.
Yeah, I think he froze up.
Hey, we good on the connection now?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah.
That's better. We see you.
Yeah, we see you.
Is that me? Because my connection, I got all my bars. Okay.
You good? You good now? You good now? Okay. Look like we okay. Okay. All right.
Good.
Yeah, should be good. Got a little feedback, but the master taking care of all that for us back there on the ones and twos doing his thing.
Yeah, you good now, Shot. You good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Blessed and highly favored. Glad to be among the land of the living. Please excuse the little stubble on my face. I tried to get straw people down here to Miami, but they was booked. So I'm just gonna have to roughhouse it. I told her I was waiting on straw people or nothing. I ain't want nobody else.
Y'all slipping. You had the appointment. Why didn't y'all make the? Hold on. Y'all had the appointment, and you didn't make the straw. Okay,
get it right.
We'll see if you get paid the same you got paid last week. Then, all right. No, I don't want to hear. I'm on the show right now, live.
Exactly.
All right.
That's discipline.
All right, we'll go. Hey, if that's the way you want to do it, player, that's the way you want. Okay, all right. When we finish with the show.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that no more. Don't worry about that no more. Anytime you need it, I got you now. Don't worry about it.
For a while. Yeah. Go ahead and touch this subject real quick because we don't talk about a lot since it's about halfway mark for the baseball season. We don't talk about it a lot. We all don't watch it. What's your first half of the season exposed so far? What team or gathered?
Baseball.
I'm not really hearing you. You sound like that lady on the lung commercial with cigarettes.
He was all he was saying was what's your thoughts on the first part of the baseball season? We don't talk about baseball a lot on the show. Just saying that we was just trying to get your thoughts on the first part of the season.
Yeah, I saw that in the pre-production meeting. I saw my producer, shout out to Anatoly, handling his business in the classroom, getting the necessary paperwork to further advance. I thought it was a typo. I said, okay. Babe, is that my connection or yours? Cause you spinning. Are we having technical difficulties?
We have a little bit, but my little studio, my little apartment. I know my apartment. It can't be better than y'all's. It can't be better than y'all's setup.
Cause I got all my telling me we good.
You on mute too, Fabe.
Fabe, is that me or you?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah,
you good.
I got a bunch of bars. Like I'm on my laptop. So I don't think it's me.
Yeah, I'm on my desktop. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you said it was a typo.
All right.
Can you hear me now? You said it was a typo.
I saw baseball in the pre-production meeting, i.e. the group chat. I said, what we doing? What we doing? Here's my thought on the first half of baseball. I think that Canseco and Sosa, I think if they continue to hit at the clip that they hit, I think they're gonna, really get a lot of people to pay attention to baseball. And that's all I got. That's the last time I paid attention to baseball. On to you, Straw.
I gave mine. I just thought that the Braves was on fire. Them Tampa Bay Devil Rays is on fire. Even the Cleveland, Mama call them Cleveland Indians. I don't call them Cleveland Indians, not the Guardians. They on fire. LA doing what LA does. Magic doing his thing. They doing what they supposed to do. So, yeah, it just seemed like it's all right. There ain't nothing wrong out there. Baseball is good, man. I hope. I was just telling Fabe. I said I hope the Braves can hold on and still be able to pull this thing out. They took an off day today. Got whooped 10-4, but still, I hope they can hold on and keep it going.
Man, look at here. Let me go ahead and self-report. I was today years old when I found out that they don't call Cleveland the Indians no more. They're the Guardians. Guardians of what? Boredom?
They the Guardians. Same colors, different logo, different. They just different, I guess.
Guardians.
The Guardians.
They should have called them like Glass. Cleveland Glass. Like, no, I'm not even being funny because Toledo. Shout out to Jinx, all our Ohio people that we rock with back in Fort Valley. I know from being around them guys that Toledo is like the glass capital. And I don't really know what else is known in Ohio other than that. So I don't know, help me out. What else is known or popular or a trade of Ohio?
The only thing that I know is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. That is in Cleveland. That is definitely in Cleveland. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ken has the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, Professional Football Hall of Fame. But I would have thought they would have named the Cleveland Sounds or something like that,
They should have called the Cleveland baseball team.
So off topic, when we talk about sports, who? What'd you say?
I said they should call them the Cleveland baseball team. Don't even give them a name. You're gonna take away the Indians. Just call them the Cleveland baseball team.
Yeah, so there's a geographical and historical connection to every professional team in all the sports. There's a history behind every team's name, and in some cases it's kind of off, and you can go back to that. And I actually won. I was a teenager. I won $100 bet. Teacher put up $100 and said, I can't remember the exact question, but it said something about a city that sits on that borders 3 rivers. Straw, can you tell me that city?
Oh, I know. I know. If it bordered them Three Rivers, baby, you know it's the Pittsburgh, PA, baby.
And that's what I said. I said Pittsburgh, and he was shocked, because I lifted my head up from sleeping. I hate to say that. I said Pittsburgh. He said, "How did you know that?" I said Three River Stadium.
There you go.
I just made the connection. Three River. I had no idea. I'm like Three River Stadium. Let me try Pittsburgh. So I'm surprised that they chose the Guardians as opposed to something else that maybe it tells you about Cleveland. Also on another note, there's a reason why there's only a few teams that their nicknames don't mirror where they're from, and it's because they moved. For example, there's no lakes in Los Angeles.
Nope. There's no Jazz in Utah.
Huh?
No Jazz in Utah.
Right, because they came from Minneapolis.
No. They came from they were New Orleans.
New Orleans.
No. I was talking about the Lakers.
Lakers, Minnesota Lakers, Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah, they used to be the Minnesota Lakers. And they moved to Los Angeles. So that's where you still have the LA Lakers.
St. Louis Hawks Atlanta Hawks used to be in St. Louis. Clippers used to be in San Diego because Clippers is the type of boat, and San Diego is known for sailing.
Mm-hmm.
Hawks probably makes the most sense. I mean, you can see a Hawk in Georgia every once in a while, but I mean, it's not popular as it would be at, say, St. Louis or anything else like that. But, there's other ones that just yeah. One of the things that I have always given credit to other teams, such as like your when the Charlotte first went to Charlotte, the basketball team, they were the Hornets. Went to the Bobcats, and now they're back to Hornets. But that's that's them, and then they moved. When they moved down to New Orleans, they were the New Orleans Hornets for a minute, and they finally got it straight.
Mm-hmm. So that's a little history on that. That's where that come from.
And since we're on this subject right here, do you feel like the Chiefs and the Braves need to follow suit and change their names?
You know what? I think the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, I think they got permission to use it, similar to what Florida State did with the Seminoles. The Braves, I don't that term Braves, the mascot and has been kind of, I think it was changed. I don't think they have any more Native American references. You get what I'm saying? I don't think they have any more Native American references outside of it saying the Braves. You can I forget which college it was that had to change that. They kept the Braves as a name, but they end up changing it to a Minuteman versus a Indian. So you can kind of move things around, with wordplay and things of that nature. But I don't think so. I don't think they need to change it. The Chiefs have been the Chiefs for a minute, and they haven't changed anything. And maybe, like I said, maybe they got permission.
So I think that one of the differences is with Cleveland, you were calling them Indians,
right?
Which that was wrong. They weren't Indians. Somebody came over here and was lost, and called them something because he thought that he had followed the all-water route to Asia and that he was in India, and as a result of his mistake, they actually gave him a day. But I digress. Right.
Save it for the thought. Save it for your thought.
Yeah. So let's reward you for being lost. Okay. Again, I digress. Don't get me started. I think with the Chiefs and the Seminoles, that is a Native American tribe. That's their name, and so I don't think they're being misrepresented. And so I think that's why Cleveland had to do away with the Indians, because it was just a far-gone mistake.
And with the names we were just talking about, the Dodgers were named after. I'm looking it up now. Had to be my own producer.
They were in
Brooklyn Trolley
Brooklyn.
Dodger was their original name in 1896.
And they were in Brooklyn.
And
So
they were in Brooklyn. Heavy construction on the trolley tracks had people dodging the track, dodging the trolleys. So that's why Dodgers.
Right.
And
yeah, that's why you got New York Giants, because they had the tall buildings at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Houston Oilers, because obviously Texas, you was with the oil.
Yeah, and they came to Tennessee for 2 seasons and with the Tennessee Oilers, and they had to change all that. So
right. So Miami Hurricanes, obviously Hurricanes are down here. Florida Panthers, that's the state animal. Like I said, Georgia Yellow Jackets. You got the Mountaineers. That's where all the coal mining is done in West Virginia. In Boston, they had the militia group, the Minutemen, that were supposed to come at a moment's notice. That's where you get the UMass Minutemen. They went out west to mine for gold. That's where you get the 49ers, and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Pistons. That was the most popular one.
Yeah, because that was the Motor City, baby. City.
Pistons. And then the hockey team got the Red Wings, because those were the steel toe boots that they used to wear, the Red Wing boots.
And they still,
of course, hockey, you got the New York Islanders, because all of the islands in New York. Yeah. So
anybody living in New York,
good piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
And you living in New York, you're slowly sinking. New York, they're slowly sinking because the whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's sinking gradually. So
okay,
global warming.
I didn't know that.
Global warming.
Yeah, one more team, the Phoenix Coyotes, the hockey, because the Coyotes are prevalent in Arizona. Phoenix Sun, because it's hot as hell out there, you get nothing but the sun.
Hell, Miami Heat. I remember I learned this because that's what when the Heat first came in 1988, they put something in the newspaper to get us to vote. And I think I remember I voted. Man, it's crazy. I used to be trying to participate in all that foolishness. I voted on the Tropics. I wanted the Miami Tropics, and eventually we got a USBL team. But I thought the Heat was kind of like I didn't really care for it. But they did the Heat obviously because of it's hot as hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your history lesson on team names. So
absolutely.
You could go to a sports bar, win some trivia if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, make sure you shoot for Valley Boy some of the profits and proceeds that you win.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more because this might be it's the newest one and the best one of all. The Las Vegas Aces. Boy, they knew what they was doing.
What?
Made no mistake while we here. Made no mistake about it. We about the casinos over here, Las Vegas Aces. Woo, pocket aces. Everybody want them.
Slots and cards, baby. Slots and cards.
Tell you now, pocket aces.
That's our baseball talking name. So if you hear those names and you say, "Oh, for Valley Boy, give me that." Don't forget, we take Cash App. Cash App and Zelle.
Right. That's right.
All right, this topic gonna touch some nerves possibly. The ruling from a week or two ago from the Supreme Court. Before you say the Supreme Court racist, guess what you did in 2016? Guess what you did? Y'all don't. Let me break off to my poli-sci degree right quick, shot. The president of the United States might just be a position, but they hold so much power. Let's go back to 2015 when Mr. Obama was president. The attorney general that we have now, Mr. Garrett.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry. That is President Obama.
President Obama. That's why I say Mr. Obama. You recognize him as president or Mr.
It's always president once you've been president.
Okay,
baby, the faux.
President Mr. Obama. He tried to replace the justice just passed away with the attorney general we have now, Mr. Merrick. Since it was going into the election year, Congress said, no, we need to wait until the next president to vote that person in.
Right.
So therefore, what we got, of course, Donald Trump won. He won. He didn't win the popular vote, but he still won by electoral votes, which means to me, electoral college need to be dismissed, but that's neither here nor there. he was able to place, I believe, 3 justices. If I remember correctly,
Three.
three justices. Biden had placed one, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I believe.
Justice Ketanji Jackson.
Excuse me. So, if you look at the math, if you have 6 conservative and 3 progressive, what's going to win out, Strong?
Oh, the conservatives gonna win every time because I mean, that's simple math. You know, that's you gonna have these things that have been, I mean, we talking about affirmative action, but we can talk about Roe versus Wade. I mean, shoot.
I was getting to that. I was just about to get to that. I was literally just about to say that. So, healthcare is not pretty much going anywhere. If you're a woman, basically you got to fend for your life until the justices change back over to 5 to 4, 63 back to a progressive. So if you're about to die because of your pregnancy, they want you to die, but they don't want you to have health care. But that's a whole nother. That's a parting shot right there. That's a black thought. I could get in a couple weeks, which can't be pro-life if you don't get prenatal care. But hey, can't get pro-life if your child person can't have insurance to go to the doctor, affordable insurance. Anyway, we're digressing. We're all over the place today.
We're still a sports show, ladies and gentlemen. We touch on everything, though. We're still a sports show. We touch on everything, though.
Yeah, but let's let the people know that Roe versus Wade was when the courts decided in 1973 that it would be legal in all 50 states to have an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
For those that might come back and watch this podcast, that's really what Roe versus Wade was. Where there was a Supreme Court ruling in 1973 that wasn't but 49 years ago, where in all 50 states it was legal to have an abortion. That's been overturned by this Supreme Court.
And those that might be a Trump fan or like, I need to get abortion. Well, you can thank Donald Trump for the reason why that's probably not going to happen in your state. You can thank Donald. See, I'm not giving Donald his respect. So is that okay? Or I have to get on Mr. President also?
I call him 45. So I mean, whatever.
Old buddy. Orange Cheeto. Mr. Cheeto. Is that good, Mr. Cheeto? Yeah. So this ruling that just came out, you did a party shot on this, I believe. What are the implications from this? The affirmative action.
Well, we can start with jobs. So there were certain sections in corporations in universities that were budgeted for equity and diversity. And those people that had those titles, that had those responsibilities, that were tasked with going out finding qualified, and I want to touch on that. When I say qualified people, I was talking to someone dear to me earlier today, and I told them that I wouldn't, say the wrong thing if I was going to expand on this affirmative action ruling, and I promised her that I wouldn't, say nothing crazy. But what I want people to understand is, first of all, there are certain departments in companies that were dedicated to affirmative action. What I've been hearing and reading about over the past couple of days since this happened was there is a misconception, a misnomer that, affirmative action meant that you just go grab someone of color and put them in a place because we have to be equitable. There is a misnomer and a myth that these people weren't qualified people, that you just grab an unqualified or a random person of color and put them in Harvard and told them to just go ahead because, hey, we got to have a quota of a certain amount of people of color in our university. That is very, very far from the truth. 9 times out of 10, the people that were brought to those places, Harvard and other institutions via affirmative action, were more than qualified to be there. And so the ruckus and the people that were disturbed are the people that weren't qualified and got bumped, because Harvard is not going to take an unqualified person and put them into Harvard and bump another 5.5 GPA student. What ended up happening was you have a lot of people that weren't as qualified, but you know my daddy. And so sometimes those people got bumped. The bottom tier people got bumped, and they created, and this is where this ruckus is coming from, because you weren't qualified. But make no mistake about it, 99.9, and I wasn't there, so I don't want to say 100%, but the people that were brought into these higher institutions or these companies via affirmative actions were overqualified to hold those positions. Affirmative action had dedicated resources to go out and find these exceptional people of color and let them bless your establishment with their knowledge. Let's get that clear.
We want to thank you for that clarity. You brought it from the job perspective. Let's your party shot also touched on the HBCU factor, where we have our Harvards of the South, or the Harvard of the HBCU, whatever. The Fort Valley State University is the Harvard of the HBCUs, one of the Harvards. I'll say it.
Okay.
I'll speak that thing in existence. I'll speak that thing.
Not the people that was in class with me.
That's that percentage you said that might have been possibly less qualified. That's what you said. That what you said. But that might be something up for right now.
I was talking about me. I ain't gonna speak on other people. I'm talking about me. I'm not at liberty to speak on other people. I was talking about I can't speak on other people. I didn't get there because of affirmative action. I got there because of basketball and somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody.
I was saying we don't have all that affirmative action. You got a good GPA, we're gonna take you. You got a decent GPA, we're gonna take you. Am I Atwater? We just go through 096, 097, 099. But I just play, Mike. We love it. The effect straw that this is going to have on colleges right now is that HBCU enrollment should rise. Well, we're in July, so some kids already picked their school. So we'll fast forward to 2024. We should have a 25 to 30% increase at minimum in enrollments at HBCUs. Is that a stretch for me to think that because of this natural ruling?
I think it is, but then we living in this world. So, I mean, okay, so affirmative action has been one of those things that has been, it's been there, but we got to think about it. We living in, and for everything that we've done backwards, there have been a lot of progression, in my opinion. I think there's some progression. I think that you will see it rise, but I don't think you will see it rise as much as 25%. I think that there are going to be some forward-thinking people at some of these other PWI universities that are still going to get the best, the best students, whether it's, a black person or, a person of color trying to go to Harvard, or a person of color trying to go to, say, MIT or something. Because, there's still been a slight changing of the guard, even all these years. I think it will rise, but I don't think it's going to rise by that much, because I think there's some more forward-thinking people that believe in the best person should be at my university, period.
Am I crazy to think that, Horatio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because, and this is in no way, shape, or form a slight at the people that went to Harvard. Every person, and again, I haven't spoken to any of these people. This is just things that I've read. That's a burden to take someone from, a lot of times, from their known establishment, which is a predominantly black neighborhoods, predominantly black schools, and they excel, and take them out of that environment and send them to Harvard, where, quote unquote, the best of the best reside, but also the rich of the rich. And that's not your environment. I commend, Justice Jackson, Justice Clarence Thomas, before he started doing what he did, Rachel Reed. I commend these people that went to Harvard, Ben Carson, if I'm not mistaken, went to Harvard. I commend these people for not just for participating in the rigorous curriculum, but dealing with the social, the social burden of being an outcast, in an environment and being somewhere where they didn't want you, where you had to firsthand on the front lines, you had to outperform people. And in this situation, a lot of times you had to outperform, PWI's best and brightest. Because that's not to say that everybody that's not at Harvard aren't bright themselves. White people, whatever term you want to use, they're bright. There's Steve Jobs there. They're very, very intelligent people, that you still have to compete with. And so I commend those people. However, I don't. Why? I've always said why. Why are we always trying to fit in? Like a JV basketball player can never come play varsity, just by asking. You got to go dominate on JV.
That's right.
And then we'll notice you. We keep trying to ask for permission. Why? Let's build our own table. Why do I need to ask for some of your steak? How about I come over here, do my thing, cultivate with my people, and make the best, juiciest steak you can imagine, and then have you come ask me how I made my steak?
Right.
Yeah, I knew that. Y'all know my dad was in the military, so I've had experience with every type of demographic living in Virginia, Georgia, California, back to Virginia, and back to Georgia. But that second time I moved to Georgia, I knew when I was at Tri-City High School, when I was my dad moved us to East Point, and of course he had to go back to California to do his last 2 years because he didn't want to move us back cross country. That's just too much of a move. He's retiring 3 years at that time. So I went to a black school while people looked like me, because all the schools I went to was more like 60% white, 10-12% black, everything else or whatever. Because we're on the base, and these schools are majority of the folks living on base were Caucasian. You might have pockets of African Americans living there, but the school was not me. My high school, I went there, I knew right then and there, I gotta find me a black college. I don't care where I go, I gotta find a black college that fit me. So the only colleges I applied to was South Carolina State, FAMU, Fort Valley State. I did not apply to Georgia State. I didn't apply to Tennessee, UGA, Georgia State, none of that stuff. I just knew by just the exposure, like you said, of people that look like me will make me more comfortable.
Yeah. I would say, there's a level of comfortability there in your case. But I agree with Shot. I mean, there is always a we got to. I see it rising, like I said, 10%. But we got to. If we wanted to rise even more, that's probably a point that we may have to hammer home with some of these students. That may be one of the things we have to hammer home. I mean, if we want our enrollment at HBCUs to go up, that's what we want to do. Now, me in the case of my son, and I'm not sure if it was something with me and his mom. I wanted him to go to a HBCU, and my ex-wife, while we were married, she wasn't necessarily with it, but I was like, let's, I guess she didn't enjoy her experience at Alabama A&M University. I enjoyed my experience there and wanted him to go there. He ultimately picked a school that was close to home, that could actually facilitate what he wanted to do in life. But we got to ring. With that being said, we've got to ring that bell. I thought I was ringing the bell, and every time I would come with something positive about HBCU, she came behind with something else. She got 2 degrees. She got one from A&M, one from somewhere else, and working on a third from University of Memphis. But we've got to ring that bell. That thing has to come true. We've got to have representation everywhere, like most of these PWI schools. That's a whole nother story, but it goes into that affirmative action as well.
anybody that watch that, if you're a part of your alumni association, you need to be part of the recruitment process. Get some recruits. If you like me and Shot work in education, I know do my middle school is what I do is I live stream virtual visits with college with HBCUs. Of course, I throw in the schools that do dual enrollment, but I make sure HBCUs are the first or the second school that I do the virtual tour with. Then I go into the other schools. So I'm making sure that from my end, all of us are doing our part. I'm making sure that we got to get them exposed, at least the history of it. Why was this campus built? Why is it for us? Why is it just majority African American? Why is the college just for us? Because
let me. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that was.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Somebody playing ping pong?
That was probably me.
I thought somebody was playing ping pong. Oh, okay. Let me also stress that and I don't have a problem with people of color going to a PWI. I'm saying that because I believe you should always go where you are wanted. And most of the time, and then you should go where you're wanted. And so I don't have a problem with, people of WIs. I just want people to understand, go where you're needed and go where you're wanted. So if they feel like they need you and they express to you that their need for your talent at Harvard, Yale, whatever PWI, and they want you and you want to experience that, then that's fine. But go where you're needed and where you're wanted. And then the rest will take care of itself. If that's an HBCU, then that's great. If you, again, like I just said, I don't like repeat myself, but if that's the case, fine. But I don't, we don't have to exclude them because we're no better than people that don't want you. You're no better. I truly believe that everything that I say, on these segments, it's about inclusion. It's about righteous people. There's no racism, there's no prejudice. It's about dealing with righteous people. And so I embrace all of that, but go where you're wanted and needed.
This is going to be an ongoing debate for years to come. Hopefully, we'll be able to, if Biden reelected or whatever, he could possibly extend out this justice system for as justices adding on 2 more possibly. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But folks don't realize this is a lifetime appointment too. So they need to also thank Cheeto. Mr. Cheeto for that.
Cheeto.
Senor Cheeto. Not cheater, but he did cheat.
He did,
but that's neither here nor there. Back to sports a little bit, to going from HBCUs being the greatest institution ever created to who is Dame the greatest blazer. I heard this on a podcast and I heard different points of view for this, and I want to broach this with you guys. I'm gonna start with a shot at this. Is Dame Dollar the greatest blazer in their franchise history?
No, that would be Bill Walton.
What's your rationale behind it? I agree with you.
Portland, they won 1 championship, right?
77. In 77.
I can't hear you.
1977, yes.
Who's the star of that team?
Bill Walton.
Who's the star of that team?
Bill Walton.
Greatest blazer. Right, greatest blazer. They've never reached that pinnacle since then. So your greatest memory in Portland Trail Blazers history, who brought that to you?
Bill Walton.
There you go.
Straw. I'm gonna let
Somebody
y'all
say
get back
Clyde, Terry Porter. Huh?
I was say, yeah, I agree with you. I agree. That's what I would want to say.
What you
I
got,
think Straw going in a different direction.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Mine is, I think if you have to make a list, he's third behind Walton and Clyde Drexler. Even though, Walton brought the championship, but when you think about it, I mean, the only time they even sniffed it was when Clyde was there. They sniffed it with Jordan. Of course, you ain't stopping Mike and them, but I mean, that's the only other time you actually had a shot at winning it. So
they played the Pistons in '90.
Okay,
They pissed away those games they lost. They had some leads in those games and pissed them away.
Okay, so he brought them twice. So I mean, you got to look at it like that. You got to look at it as if as great as Dame is as getting what he getting his team in the playoffs and doing all the things we remember, Dame time, and being a great player. He's still third on that list. And that's a short list.
Yeah, real short. And just to give context to
who's two?
Clyde.
And so you got Dame after that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who you got, Shot? Who you got? Who you see? I mean, it's plenty of names you can put on there, but I mean, I'm thinking the ones that come to your mind instantly.
I would stay on that team and go Terry Porter.
Yeah. I mean, but
Dame
okay,
how many the first round? What, once, twice?
Twice. Been out the first round twice. Been out the second round once. Got swept in the conference finals in 19.
I can see that. I can see the Porter. But I mean, I guess the point is that we have already come to a consensus that he ain't the greatest Blazer that's been on that franchise, and it's we say 2, 3 in front of him. It is what it is, So he's a great player, but he spent most of his time. He spent all of his career up until now there. But I mean, he for what he's done, he hadn't done enough to me just for that franchise.
Look at Bill Walton's numbers. I got his numbers pulled up now. Go ahead, Shot.
I just remember. What'd you say?
I said, go ahead. I say, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, I just remember. I remember Terry Porter averaging about 16, 17 points and 8 assists a game. Again, he took his team to the along with Clyde Drexler. I mean, I think Dame is don't get me wrong, I'm a Dame advocate, but when you talk about, the Portland Trail Blazers' rich history, I think, anybody that say Dame Lillard right now, you're just basically showing your age, because you got to go Clyde. I mean, hell, Clyde is the highest drafted Blazer. Am I not mistaken? I mean, aside from that's worth some. Aside from Duckworth,
Kersey, Cliff Robinson, Robinson,
Jerome Kersey, Cliff Robinson, Terry Porter. It was one more. Wasn't Dudley over there during the time? Nah, I would go. Yeah. Bill Walton. I don't remember who else was on that 77 team, but I would assume whoever's the second best player on that team. Who?
Lionel Hollins.
Yeah, no, I don't know him. So yeah, I would stay with
he's been coaching the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I don't know him. I don't know him.
His fingers like this. You see him now, he clapped like this.
Yeah, like he used to catch the ball blindfolded.
I'll give you that roster. None of these names are Johnny Davis, Maurice Lucas, of course, Bill Walton, Lionel Hollins, Herm Gilliam.
For some reason I thought Bob McAdoo was on there, but I guess I'm wrong.
Not that year.
Okay.
Let me go up to 78. I know 78. The Blazers were tough, and the first 50 games to Walton broke his foot. I don't see. I'm gonna go up one more year, but I don't think McAdoo's on. I'm gonna look up McAdoo's history. If I had to vote him in there, Walton 1, Clyde 2. If you really push me to, maybe Porter 3, then Dame 4. Dame, like I said, Dame got out the first round twice, only twice, and that was against the Houston Rockets and against the Thunder when he hit those walk-off shots. I think the kids are saying Dame because of those walk-off shots. Like it's more to being a great fit than 2 walk-off shots, and then you get swept in the second round both those times. But McAdoo, he did not play for Portland. He started off with Buffalo, then the Knicks,
Okay.
Boston for a year, Detroit for a year, the Nets, went to the Nets middle of the 81 season, then finished the career with the Lakers. Played for the Lakers for 4 years, then went to Philly for 1. And he went to Italy for about 7 years. But yeah, those kids that's watching right now, Dame Dollar's not the greatest Blazer. I would have thought maybe, possibly Golden State could make a move for him. That'll be, but you don't play defense and you're 6 foot. So that don't help no. Corey Green, friend of the show, said Clyde is 1, then Dame. Corey, we were almost the same age. You don't got Bill Walton number 1? Corey, you about 2 years younger than me. You don't got Bill Walton on there?
Wow.
Shout out to my guy Corey Green. He came on last week. I ain't get to give him his shout out, man. I appreciate you coming back, my guy. What's going on? Yeah, he got Clyde 1.
He got Clyde 1
with no hardware. We just giving away number 1 spots.
Yeah, he wasn't born yet. So
hey, man, they got this thing called Google.
That's a great thing.
Beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, shot Jamon, 2-time championship coach, said.
Yeah.
What Jamon put out there? Hey man, I swear I hate when Jamon come on here because all he do is throw shots and spit facts. That's all he do.
You say that's tomato, you say tomato, we say Cheeto. It's the same.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. He just hit me in my stomach too, because when Fave said it, I immediately said, yeah, I'm gonna let him have that. I immediately said it. But when he said Mr. Obama, I said President. But that what Jamon do. He come out there with that melatonin voice. Hey, you know, ratio ain't correct you when you said President Trump, sir. That's how Jamon talk. He cooler than a fan. He cooler than a fan, man. You got me on that one though. You got me. Oh man, how come I'm not seeing these chats come up? I got it on my phone, but I don't see it coming up.
Let's see. See that now?
Okay, so Jamon came back with the home of the brave. I thought it was something.
What happened?
The home of the brave, the mascot.
Chief Nakahoma doesn't work for the Braves anymore.
Oh, Homer the Brave. Okay.
Man, let me say the last thing about baseball before we get to our party shots. Braves gonna do what they do. I don't know why everybody so in love with the Braves. This is why Anatole hates me. Y'all won this many championships in how many years? We'll say 32 years. The last 32 years. 2. And before then, how many championships they won? How many won before 1995? How many won? But yet we're gonna get the Braves do this every time. The Braves do this every time. They have the best record, best pitching, best hitting, best fielding, best base running, best defense. Knocked out first round. Anyway, folks must say, "Hey, you from Atlanta? You supposed to hate like that, man?" And just like I hate Stephen A. Smith, I'm gonna say my truth. The word of the day is hater. All right, look at these part shots. Go ahead, Straw.
Man, this is gonna be. I'm finna just include this one. Shouts out to the celebs that sent off the U.S. Women's National Soccer team. Uh, we've been talking about. Well, they've been talking in the news about how they're just getting equal pay for their tournaments and everything, and that's a heck of a send off. All the celebs, Patrick Mahomes and others, sending them off right so they can go ahead and win this next World Cup. But yeah, man, that's huge. Continue to support national sports, even if it's even if it is football. But yeah, that's big. That's big. Keep supporting. If we're gonna support the women's nationals, let's support all women's sports.
Equal pay. I wish I get to the WNBA, good, but let me shut up.
Once again, we need to support all women's sports. That's a start. Let's support them. Let's support the WNBA as well.
Where's shot? Maybe a delay. Go ahead, shot. Your party shot.
Speaking of equal pay, and I guess this kind of goes along the same lines when we start talking about affirmative action and African Americans' place in the United States of America. And I just want to point out that I believe that a lot of these tensions still stem from the fact that when you combine the superpower that the United States is, it was built off the backs of African Americans. And then obviously there were other migrants that came over from other countries. But we still talking about 300 years of free labor, 300 years of free labor. Okay. And so I want to reiterate what I said once before when we talk about reparations and affirmative action, because we're asking, they're saying, hey, we're no longer going to allow you to come and be a part of our university, as if, we're thankful that you're allowing us to be a part of our university. And I just want to throw out a couple of facts. The United States, during World War II, if I'm not mistaken, bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They paid the Japanese $1.6 billion. They paid reparations to the Ottawas in Michigan, $32 million. They gave the Chippewas in Wisconsin $31 million, the Seminoles in Florida, $12 million, the Sioux of South Dakota, $105 million, the Calamance of Oregon, $81 million. $0 to the African American descendants of slavery. Let that sink in. You can't ask us to forgive and forget when reparations for the crimes committed against those people have not been dealt with. You cannot ask for that. And that's why we keep talking about reparations. That's why these things are no longer on the bookshelves, because certain people want you to forget what happened. They want you to get over it. It was so long ago. Actually, it wasn't. It was 57 years ago. Just 57 years ago. I'm 48. So just 7, 8, 10 years before I was born, there was a white-only water fountain. There was a black-only water fountain. It was not that long ago. It was not that long ago. We're talking about Roe versus Wade. We're talking about Brown versus the Board of Education. It was not that long ago. Reparations are due. That's my black thought.
And don't forget about Arizona, that did not have Martin Luther King as a holiday, which cost them the Super Bowl back in the early 90s. And guess what they did? Oh, we're going to vote it in. We need that revenue. But that's neither here because they had two. Okay, before I get my parting shot, let's get Corey's. And he has a parting shot, so we'll give him a shot right here. Let's wait for this to see it show up. There we go. This is my parting shot. Single dad, spend as much time as you can. Spend as much time as you can when you are able to see your child or children. Let us as men encourage each other, men not to be deadbeats. We as men have a tremendous responsibility when becoming a dad. We got to stop being doleful and absent just because the relationship didn't work out with the woman. Children need their dads and those of us who are trying, keep trying.
Let me expand on that. AC Green, I really appreciate that shout out. I mean that pardon shot. Just and I don't have the exact statistics, but a kid that comes from a single parent home where the mom is a single parent, I believe it's 44 or 60% likely to go to jail than a kid in a two-parent household. But that same kid is less likely to go to jail, or it has the same low percentage of going to jail in the two-parent household than that same kid that lives with just the father. Keep that in mind. Way to bring that up, C Green.
All right, Shots producers finally showed up to work today.
Tole.
So, as you know, I've been on this tip with Stephen A. Smith. Everybody wants me to fight him. I don't want to fight Stephen A. Smith, even though he's full of shit. But let me get to my party shot. Skip Bayless, or Drip Bayless, or Whip Bayless, or Coon Davis, or Racist Cat Davis, Race Bayless. Their show will not be on for 2 months, dating back to the end of the finals. I wonder why their show's not gonna be on for 2 months. They thought it was gonna be easy to replace Shannon. Oh, you just put another color man on that other side of Skip. Skip has final say, final control, first control, middle control, last control on that show. If you remember the game Contra, up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select, you get what? Infinite lives, right?
30. You get 30.
30 lives. That's what Skip Bayless is doing now. There's some thought to this. There are two things Skip could be doing while they wait to the 28th. One, he's waiting for the 3. Lil Wayne to pass a piss test. 2, Keyshawn Johnson gonna go on the show, but they both love the Cowboys, so they need somebody to oppose the Cowboys, so that won't fit. So it probably might be Max Kellerman will be another option. Or Stephen A. Smith's gonna get out of his contract to go on FS1. I will make sure I will not watch FS1 if Stephen A. Smith goes on there with Skip Bayless. I already had to deal with that for 5 years. My eardrums are just not healed. Just not healed. Now I could say some other things like why Jalen Rose got fired, and I'm seeing some things on air like why Malika didn't get fired or whatever. That's not my concern. Our concern is making these folks had a great living. They made hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars on ESPN. Don't feel sorry for them being unemployed. Feel sorry for us having to watch these stupid ass folk that's on TV now. Like example, Stephen A. Smith. That's our show for this evening. I know Shot was probably on the phone with our agent, trying to make sure that Stephen A. don't go to Fave's house. That's Fave meet up with Fave, not us. Fave, homecoming. Fave gonna be here.
I'm trying to set it up.
Yeah, Shot. One other thing. Yeah, and so I don't know why David Pollock. I don't know, man. Last one in, first one out. I guess they were saying Desmond Howard should be fired too. If you're gonna fire everybody, Lee Corso, 90 years old. It's time for him to go anyway.
I think they're just gonna let him go on and retire. Him and Dick Vitale, they're gonna have to go on and let them retire. They've been there so long. I mean, but then you're gonna have to, you got these other cats. They got to spotlight them some kind of way. So
I don't know, but just
because if you notice the last 2 or 3 years, Lee Corso has been on College Game Day less and less.
Yeah, but the COVID year, he stayed at the house.
Yeah, and the whole season, if I'm not mistaken.
Whole season, and in the last 2 years, his screen time, he'll be on the first segment.
Mm-hmm.
They might bring him back at the 10:30 break, and then bring him back for picks at the end, because that's what David Pollock and you have this year, especially McAfee coming in. So McAfee's going to be doing a Stephen A. Smith. We're paying you $85 million. You finna do all this work. So He's going to be used on game day. He's probably going to be used on probably some draft coverage. Might be spot coverage on college football today. That's just a prediction. Besides the 2:00 show, they're going to be every day, and then he's going to have to travel to which means you're looking at Marty McGee show might be canceled next now because he's. But that's neither here nor there. We'll delve into that and get to that point. Thank you for watching. We'll let you know we're going to be on Wednesday. We out.
Hey, y'all boys have a great weekend.